The motive power history of the Norfolk and Western Railway may be best exemplified by modern streamlined Class J steam locomotives on high-speed first-class passenger trains and powerful plodding Y-class articulated steamers on long, slow freight and coal drags. The Southern Railway's present-day locomotives have roots in the famous Crescent Limited's Class PS4 green and coal Pacific type steamers, the sole survivor of which is now in the Smithsonian, and MS-class Mikados like this one pulling a freight near Richmond, Virginia. The highly successful, long-established Norfolk and Western and Southern Railways merged on June 1, 1982 to form the new Norfolk Southern Corporation. And today, occasional steam locomotives are still seen on their rails, but only, of course, in special excursion service. Diesels are the order of the day, and for the next hour we'll view a large portion of the system and show a variety of power units in both original Norfolk and Western and Southern liveries, as well as the new Norfolk Southern thoroughbred design. Over the years, both original N&W and Southern roads had incorporated within their structures, through acquisitions and mergers, other railroads, and by way of vintage film footage, we'll be able to see examples of diesel power of these so-called fallen flag lines. The Virginian and Norfolk and Western Railways merged in December 1959. Alta Vista, Virginia, on May 16, 1957, finds Virginia number 26, a Fairbanks Morse H16-44 on switching duty. Alco's RS-36 and RS-3 power a Norfolk, Franklin, and Danville freight through Clarksville, Virginia. This road was absorbed into the Norfolk and Western on December 30, 1983. The Norfolk and Western acquired control of the Wabash Railway in 1970 in almost full ownership by 1980. Number 1009, an EMD Type E8 diesel, has two distinctions, one being the last unit remaining in the Wabash design, and the other, the 10,000th locomotive built by Electromotive's LaGrange shops. The New York, Chicago, and St. Louis Railroad, better known as the Nickel Plate Road, merged with the N&W on October 16, 1964. Nickel Plate GP9 number 532 is shown on display at the Old Roanoke Transportation Museum. The Central of Georgia Railway was acquired by the Southern in 1963. Here, an Alco RS3 and EMD SD7 number 201 power a freight. Surprisingly, this was the only SD7 on the Central's roster. EMD SW9 number 306, switching at Columbus. Two GP9s also at Columbus. Two E7A units power the Seminole. Note the the brown and orange Illinois Central style cars. In fact, some of these are lettered Illinois Central since this train's route ran to Chicago and shared power and cars with the IC. Switcher number 37 is a Baldwin DS44-1000. Number 131 is an EMD GP7. E7A's 810 and 805 take another Seminole out of Columbus. GP7 number 129, GP9 170, and GP7 127 on a slow freight. GP9 161 and GP18 number 176 on a local freight. The Georgia Northern Railway was acquired by the Southern in 1966. GN's Baldwin DS44-660 number 172 is seen near Moultrie, and their FT number 14 switches cars in the same area. Georgia Northern's longtime affiliate, the Georgia, Ashburn, Sylvester, and Camilla Railroad, was also merged into the Southern. GAS&C's GE 70-tonner number 15 switches near Camilla. The South Georgia and Live Oak, Perry, and Gulf merged in 1971 to form the Live Oak, Perry, and South Georgia Railway. Owned by the Southern, GE 70-tonners were prevalent on the line. The Georgia and Florida was another Southern-owned line. GP7s number 706 and 704 are seen running light at Valdosta. (1986), just south of Tifton on the Southern's old Georgia, Southern, and Florida main line. A light engine move heads north. Two SD50s, 6520 and 6506, lead GP 382721, U23B 3926, GP 302618, and GP 38-25175. The lash-up passes through Ashburn. SD40-2 powered pig train rolls southbound. The 6 light units continue northbound. We'll see these one more time just south of Warner Robins. Coming up, a southbound just out of Macon with B30-7A number 3514, GP38-2s 5218 and 5178, and U23B 3935. Three GP50s, 7011, 7021, and 7036 head up a freight through Easley, South Carolina. Radio-controlled SD50 provides mid-train power. A southbound on Southern's Main at Phelps, south of Dalton, Georgia, with a Conrail SD40 leading a Southern SD35 and SD45. Five units consisting of an SD35, 2 SD40s, and 2 SD45s rumble a freight into the hull. Another southbound, powered by an SD40, SD35, and SD45 slips past. An empty coal train slides through Birmingham with SD45s 3116 and 3159, SD35 3003, a radio control car, SD40-2 3194, and SD45 3135. If this train were loaded, the radio car and 2 following engines would be in a mid-train location. SD45 number 3140, running so-called hammerhead style, long hood forward, leads SD40 3182 and SD40-2 3282 on a freight slowly through Valdosta. One of the most famous locations on the Southern is North Carolina's Saluda Mountain, where a 4.7% grade, the steepest on a standard gauge main line in the United States, exists. We're at Melrose, looking down and up safety track number 2, onto which any runaway train would be switched. The safety track turnout is normally set for the escape position and only switches to the main line if a downgrade train is at or under the prescribed speed limit. Creeping downgrade, SD50 number 6513 and SD60 number 6606 strain against the force of gravity to hold their train back from exceeding safe speed. Having crossed the South Carolina border, the train rolls through a cut near Lambert. Coming up, a view near Campobello. Later, Units 6513 and 6606, positions reversed from earlier in the day, bring a northbound up to Melrose. Here, the train will be split into thirds, each of which will be pulled upgrade separately and then put back together about a mile north of the town of Saluda. We'll next see one of the sections thundering through Big Cut. Having deposited that last section down the line, the engines are turned back through Saluda. Back downgrade through Big Cut. final train section comes up to the grade's crest and heads north through Saluda. Reassembled, the train heads on north, crossing the Green River towards Asheville. A quadruple SD60 powered northbound rolls into the cut near Landrum. 6643 and 6600 are on the point, and 6614 and 6611 are at mid-train. Due to the available 14,000 horsepower and the empty coal cars, this train can and does climb the mountain in one piece. Continuing on towards Asheville, the coal train crosses a highway overpass north of Saluda. On the Southern's Piedmont Division, the main line crosses high over the Pacolet River north of Spartanburg. SD 50 6511 and SD 60 6638 head northbound train 118 across the bridge. 118 doesn't slow down much at Gaffney. Rolling on into North Carolina, number 118 passes through Kings Mountain. GP 38-2s number 5213 and 5169, together with GP 382778 and GP 352676, speed is southbound over a grade crossing south of Salisbury. One last view of northbound 118 as it crosses the Yadkin River approaching Linwood Yard. Once more going 30 years back to the past, Southern Train number 153 at Stacy, North Carolina, powered by 3 F units and an RS3. RS3 number 2061 on a local at Reedsville. F7A number 4243 leads 3 other F7s and an F3B on train 153 through Reedsville. Alco S2 number 2217 on Reedsville switching duty. Five SD24s power another 153. E8A days, 6915 and 6914 on passenger train number 33. Two F7s and three F3s on a southbound freight. Passenger train number 36 with E6As 2900 and 2800. 2800 up front and 2900 on train 33. Southern-owned Carolina and Northwestern RS3 number 5 is assigned Reedsville switching duty. Another day, RS3 number 2133 has the job. E7A number 2917 and E8A 2927 power number 33. Southbound number 153 has three F7s and two F3s with a string of freight cars you won't see on today's rails. Chatham, Virginia, where a high-speed southbound rips by. Next up, a northbound led by SD 453113 and two SD 40-2s. The same northbound crosses Sycamore Creek Bridge at Hurt. Alta Vista Bridge. An SD40-2, SD50, and SD45 powered southbound will be met by a northbound led by a pair of SD60s. Southern's rails cross high over the James River at Lynchburg, where a southbound crosses, headed up by an SD40-2, followed by a GP50, SD45, and two SD60s. Three GP50s, 7006, 7072, and 7066 at Ty River northbound. South of Charlottesville, a southbound 3-unit SD40-2 lead train waits for the northbound GP50 powered freight to clear. An early morning at Brandy Station, and the same previously seen GP50 lash-up, only reversed, zips by with a hotshot pig train. Near Marshall, Virginia, on the Manassas-Harrisonburg line, train 89 westbound is powered by GP38 number 5054 and GP35 number 2706. Number 89 continues on through Delaplane. Rolling on near Linden. Crossing over the highway east of Front Royal. (1957) Baldwin DS44-1000 number 2286. 4 F7s and an F3 near Reedsville. RS3 2101 at Reedsville in September 1956. September 1956 again, and 2 FP7s on passenger train number 33. NW2 number 2234 closes our views at Reedsville. On original Norfolk and Western rails of the Shenandoah Division's Winston-Salem subdivision, GP9 number 741 leads 3 others through Price, North Carolina on March 17, 1957. Next, some views of GP9, 765 and 766 on local passenger trains in the Price, Mayo Dam, and Walnut Cove areas. Jeep 735 and 736 power another freight through price. (1986) The Norfolk Southern's Bluefield, West Virginia locomotive shops. Slug 9722 is cut down from a GP9 and retains the dynamic brake. These shops used to be home to much of the N&W steam fleet, and now, of course, is loaded with diesels. Number 1388 is a GP40. Slug 9712 is without dynamic brake, while 9727 retains hers. Giant GE units number 8629, 8642, and 8628 are C39-8s and are the newest power units on the road. Note the long hood end notches, somewhat similar to those on old Alco diesels. GP38 ACs number 4118 and 4155 move out to form a power team for a soon-to-leave train. A self-propelled crane is working at Oakville before being put in the hull. Westbound SD 40-2 with a Norfolk Southern test car comes by an old Virginian line steel trestle and through Oakville. An S-curve near Elliston. General Electric C36-7s 8527 and 8520 drift downgrade with an eastbound. Rumbling upgrade on a westbound are C36-7 number 8510 and C39-8 number 8587. West of Alta Vista at Long Island on the former Virginian line, a work train gets underway. Air dump cars, a Jordan spreader, and a unique white-striped GP38AC number 4107 make up a fairly unusual team. At the Blue Ridge Overlook near Roanoke on another day, we amazingly again spot 4107, this time with a GP35 on a local freight heading west. A little further down, a pair of GP40s speed east with a short freight. Coming up at Hebron east of Crewe, SD45 number 1722 with a C36-7 and an SD35 team up on a westbound coal train. Lambert's Point at Norfolk. Alco C630 number 1130 and a cut-down Fairbanks-Morse Trainmaster slug push loaded coal hoppers down towards the ship loading docks. An SD45 and SD35 bring a westbound excursion train across a steel trestle at Lynchburg. B23-7 number 3972 with a funny sounding horn on a caboose hop near Burkeville. Once more back on Southern rails, a northbound rolls out of Linwood Yard with SD60s, 6609 and 6581 on the point. Cut down from an Alco RS3, Slug 9838 works hump yard service. Three GP50s on a southbound pig train near Gaffney. GP30 number 2548 leads U23B 3928, B23-7 3970, and GP38-2 5071 southbound across the Kiwi River Bridge at Clemson. Continuing south across the mostly dried up Tugaloo River on the South Carolina-Georgia border. Further south, the train rolls through Toccoa. Our final scene is at Lula, Georgia. By the way, in case you didn't know it, this odd-looking gizmo is a turnout building template.